Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Marianne Cintron. I'm the founder of Step by Step Dyslexia Solutions. We're a nonprofit organization, and our mission is to help children develop literacy skills so they can realize their full potentials and positively give back to their communities. And the way we do that is by training teachers, whether we raise scholarships to pay for their training or whether they want to train and pay on their own or have their school districts pay. We're here to help these children develop literacy skills. If you were here yesterday, think about what your biggest takeaway was from yesterday. And would you write it in the chat, please? We did some simulations. You received a lot of information. So what was your biggest takeaway from yesterday? Go ahead and put it in the chat. That music can help struggling readers. How important music is in the process. Yep, I'm so glad that that got through to you. I didn't learn about dyslexia until I went and started earning my master's at the university, and a professor friend recommended I join the International Dyslexia Association, of which I'm now a board member of the Tri-County branch here in California. That's when I learned about Orton-Gillingham, and I learned about music. But I shared a lot of my story yesterday, so I won't share that again today. So today, what our learning outcomes are, yesterday, we covered being able to describe dyslexia to others. We covered understanding what it feels like to be dyslexic and the impact it has on the students. And we covered how to recognize dyslexia in the classroom and the workplace. So today's outcomes, you're going to learn ways to teach phonological awareness, and you're going to learn the Orton-Gillingham Model. It's not a curriculum, it's a model for teaching dyslexic children. So if you don't have a pad of paper by your computer, would you hurry and go get one? Because I'm going to have you take some notes. That's going to help you learn. And it's going to help you remember and share with other people. So the step-by-step reading program contains phonogram cards, sound circles, phonemic awareness, plastic letters. These are the different steps. We have 9 steps in my program. We do a whiteboard activity twice, and beginning, middle, and ending sounds activity. There's a second workbook activity, and there's a spelling test that we take with my app, Dunking Dyslexia. So on your paper, I want you to write step 1. Step 1 is 1 minute. It could be up to 5 minutes, but this is where we show our phonogram cards. We've got 101 of them, and every card has a key concept picture that goes with it, because children don't know their vowels, and as they start learning the more complicated vowel teams and consonant teams, digraphs we're familiar with, we have pictures to show how to sound them out. And when they start understanding the letter name and the sound, we remove the picture. So we would have the student say a. If they don't know it, we're going to show the picture. We're going to say a, ax, a. And we just review those. We've got 19 sets of combinations of letters that we go through. Here are just some examples of what the letters look like. And I have personally color-coded them and numbered them. So the consonants are set 1, the vowels in green are set 2, and then we have the CE, CI, CY, they're set 3. So we have 101. So the key concepts are very fun pictures. I also give them to you in small versions so you can put them on the back of your phonogram card. So step 2, I want you to write sound circle. These are what we use to introduce the sound for the letter, And we're not using letter symbols yet until step 3. So what we do is pull down a pink for a consonant and an orange for a vowel. And I also give you this spiral index card set. So we get our spelling words from the teacher guide, which lists the spelling sentences and the spelling words. So you're going to pick out 3 words for the day, and you're going to change beginning, middle, or ending letter. And this is really your cheat notes, and it's really exciting because it's so easy to lesson plan with this. You're going to use this 3 times during the lesson. So the first time you use it is to sound out Doug. We're going to pull down a purple for D. We're going to pull down an orange for We're going to pull down another purple for G. And we always say the word, have the student repeat the word, then we tap out the word with our fingers. D, G, Doug. And we underline it. Then we pull the sounds down. Then we say, Doug becomes bug. So the D goes away and we pull it up. And the B comes down. And then we point to each sound and we say it. D, B, G, bug. And I'm just going to do the last one again. So bug becomes bum. What changes? The G goes away, so you pull up the last sound circle, and we bring down another same color circle, but we say and we point and say, point to B, bum. Then we move all the sound circles up, and we start fresh with hip, and we have the student repeat the word, and we tap it out with our fingers, and then we repeat that. So this step takes 5 minutes. We eventually get into syllables. These are my rectangles that we put the different sounds for the syllables on it. Step 3, we use plastic letters. So I personally spray paint all the vowels black, and I spray paint the C and the G silver because I have a special way to teach C and G. So these are how I get the letters. If I get them from different vendors, I sometimes will put the arrows on to help children understand the direction, because the P and the B and the D get very confusing, as this slide will show. You ever wonder why a dyslexic child is thinking, but mom, the B and the D are exactly the same letter? A chair is a chair if it's upside down, sideways, right side up. But those B and Ds are very confusing to students, and we teach them first. I'm going to ask you a true or false question. Raise your hand or write in the chat if you would. I like to see chats. If it's true, raise your thumb or write in the chat and tell me true or false. Dyslexic people have low intelligence. Let me turn my fan on a little higher. Absolutely false. Good job, everyone. Students with dyslexia have average or high intelligence, with some exceptions. And those exceptions that I've seen have been students that just have low vocabulary skills. Once they develop their vocabulary in our program, my gosh, their intelligence improves. So often they're looked at as being lazy, or they're not trying hard enough. And dyslexic people are very creative. They're very artistic in the music, in the arts, and in dance. Okay, so on your paper, I want you to write step 4. We've moved through steps 1, 2, and 3 already, which takes about 15 minutes. So step 4 is our phonics reading. It's in the teacher guide, and we spend 10 minutes doing this. So this is an example of what our phonics reading looks like. The students maintain the short vowel sound. They'll say un, na, id, di, op, pa. What's really fun is when you get to this one, on, na. A lot of them will want to say no, and we teach them This is a part of a word. It's a phoneme. It's not the word no. It's a part of the word, like nonsense. So they learn that, and that's very exciting to show them. And then we show them how just by adding one little letter, it changes nets to nest. Wherever that S is, if it's making a plural, it belongs at the end. If it's creating a new word, we have a consonant team, and it's at the end of here. So we do a lot of explaining. Dyslexic children need explicit instruction, and that's what that is. Look at this: cat, cast, and cats. This is what Anna Gillingham really liked to teach. What made sense to teach kids, the right order of words, and to show where the confusion could possibly be. When students realize that an S at the end of the word, if it's a noun, makes it a plural, that's a big aha for them. So then we have sentences that the students read twice, and we want to build their fluency. Sometimes I'll even let them read it twice, and then I'll let them hear me read it and have them follow how I read it. So I'll model for them. And then we like to build vocabulary by asking. So they'll read a flat box is best. And then when we finish all the sentences, I'll go back and I'll pick 2 or 3 sentences. And I'll ask them, why would a flat box be best? And they don't know. So we start sharing. And as I shared yesterday, when students are speaking, it's part of the multisensory modality, so it's going to help their brain retrain. So we talk about, well, you might want to put sweaters in a flat box under the bed. You might want to put Christmas wrapping paper in a flat box and squeeze it up high somewhere. And then we can ask, number 4, he will clam up if you ask him to tell on his pal. A lot of students don't know what a pal is. So I'll say, do you know what this means? And I'll explain what a clam is, how a clam will open up, and when someone gets close to it, it'll close up. So little kids really want to tattle on people. So we want to teach them, we don't want to tattle unless it's an emergency. You don't need to tell a teacher every time a student does something. So we'll say clamming up is closing your mouth, and he doesn't want to tell on his pal. That's his friend. So raise your hand. Let me know if you could understand how this could develop vocabulary and how valuable that is. Thank you. More people are popping in, so I'm glad to have more people. So I shared this yesterday, the job of the left and the right brain. Don't look at this nose under here. I thought I chopped that off. But it makes sense to have the left on the left and the right on the right, okay? So imagine this man is looking forward, and language is on the left, and music is on the right. And as vision, when things go into our eyes, they cross to the opposite side. And then with hearing, things go in through our ears and cross to the opposite side, but language will return to the left and music will return to the right. That's what's real interesting, because when we work with earphones, we send the music directly to the right angular gyrus. And the spelling exercises are going in the right ear, going directly to the left angular gyrus. It's not going to go in and cross over. It's going to go directly. That's why we're getting 1 to 3 year gains in only 6 weeks with our students using the music and this Orton-Gillingham model. Dr. Roger Sperry worked with Michael Gazzaniga, and they developed the split brain theory. Actually, Gazzaniga was one of his students. And they developed the split brain theory, where they severed the corpus callosum, the central part of the brain, which we call the lazy referee. And they worked with the left and the right hemispheres independently. And they said if teachers could grasp this information and bring it into the classroom, we would help the students that had not dyslexia, it was word blindedness. In the early 1960s, they were still calling it word blindedness. And here we have a wonderful neurologist who really wanted to help students, and we'd love education to benefit from what science is showing, right? So Dr. Roger Sperry won a Nobel Prize in the 1980s for his split brain theory. He stopped the seizures with those patients, and as I explained yesterday, I'll repeat again today, that imagine a student reads from the wrong side of the brain. A dyslexic child is reading from the right angular gyrus. So it wants to send over the wrong words, the wrong vowel. It'll send farm instead of from, calp instead of clap. It'll send the letters in the wrong order. And it passes over the corpus callosum, slowing the processing down. So they say dyslexic children, my child has auditory processing. Well, yeah, that is a big part of dyslexia, is auditory processing. So we're going to help that by sending music in the left ear that's going to go right to the right angular gyrus and give it a job it likes to do, so it won't take over the reading. And then, like I said, the spelling exercises go in the right ear, crossing to the left angular gyrus, training it. And the first time I learned this, it reminded me of Pilates, because I was starting to take Pilates back then. But Pilates of the brain, where you're targeting a specific part of the brain for learning language. Now raise your hand if that is not cool, if it is cool. Isn't that just an aha moment? I've shared that with people, and it's just a game changer for them because they've never heard that. Okay, thank you for your participation with raised hands. So this is Cruz. He is our poster child. Cruz came to us, his mom came to me when he was entering second grade. He didn't even know his letter names and sounds. I'm actually registered as a vendor for some of the homeschoolers, but I actually advocated for this child because he had dyslexia and his mom needed to get this service paid for, because when you have dyslexia, you need services our program is 4 to 5 days a week. Some programs will go an hour and a half a day, so they'll say only 3 times a week, but we like to teach our students an hour a day, 4 or 5 days a week. So in March of last year, I trained his tutor to teach him his letter names and sounds, and he was ready in July. He learned the vowel A, so he was ready to start our program and use the music. So he made such rapid progress. He was teaching his baby sister, a kindergartner, the grammar and phonics rules. And his mom said, I didn't even know those rules. And here's my son teaching his baby sister. He used to think she was smarter than him, but his self-esteem skyrocketed. His confidence just manifested and was evident in so many areas of his life. And in March of this year, he actually exited special ed for English. And that's just kudos to him for his hard work and for his tutor and the reading program and the music. He's reading at a 4th grade level and comprehending at a 5th grade level. I showed some of that data yesterday from his evaluation. So now you should have steps 1, 2, 3, and 4 written down on your paper. If you came in a little late, number 1 was phonograms, number 2 was sound circles, step 3 was alphabet letters, and step 4 was reading phonics. Now step 5 is phonological awareness. So remember this index card, spiral index card I told you about? This is when you take this out again, and you're going to select one word and you put it in your lesson plan. Let's take the word hat, okay, since I wrote it on the whiteboard. So we're going to take hat. You say hat, you have the child repeat it, and then you tap it out with your hands, with your fingers, t, hat. You can also tap it on your desk. You can clap it out, t, whatever your child prefers. You could change it up. And then we actually have a script, and I teach you this script in my training. First we share, so in the word hat, what sound does the letter H make? And you would say, In the word hat, What sound does the letter A make? And the student would say ah. In the word hat, what sound does the letter T make? And the student will say t. In the word hat, what letter name goes with h? And they'll say h. In the word hat, what letter name goes with a? They'll say a. In the word hat, what letter name goes with t? And they'll say, that's right, they'll say t. So say hat, and the student says hat. So say hat again, but instead of the h, put s. So they'll say sat, and they're changing their letters. Then you say, can you use sat in a good sentence? Well, I sat on the chair for dinner. So that is step 5, easy peasy. It takes 1 minute. Step 6 gets you into the junior workbook or the senior workbook. Now, the junior workbook is the same as the senior workbook up to page 36 because the letters are larger and these little guys go a little bit slower. We use the junior workbook for 2nd grade through 4th, but I did have a very sharp 4th grader that just needed vocabulary development, but he was a sharp student, so I actually started him in workbook 1 of the senior. So this is what we have in the workbooks. It starts off with rhymes. We demonstrate what rhymes look like. So if you've never seen this, we teach a rhyme. You would hold out your hand like this. And so, man, we would say, and, man. So what is another word that rhymes with man? Let's say tan, an. Do this at home with me. Tan. Let's try one more. How about fan? Okay, an, fan. So we teach the child that the palm, when this is the same sound, that's when you know it's a rhyme. And only the beginning sound changes. You may know that as an onset in a rhyme, R-I-M-E, but we just teach this to the students and they get it. So when they start writing out their rhymes, if they stumble, you show them again. And I have other little strategies to help them with rhymes that I teach in my training program. Then, step 7, we're going to do some phonological awareness again. But this time we do it a little differently. We take our spiral index cards out again, and we pick a word. So let's pick the word jug. What's the beginning sound of jug? J. What's the middle sound of jug? What's the ending sound of jug? G. Say jug. Jug. Can you give a rhyming word for jug? Mug. That is step 7. Easy peasy. But you're introducing phonological awareness several times in the program. So write that down. Now we're at step 8. You've only got 2 steps left. Step 8, we introduce homophones. For example, I tell the teachers, bring out the highlighters. As I shared yesterday, this is where we want to use colors to help the students process what they're learning. We teach there, and there. They all say the in the beginning, but we use tricks. So one is location. The word there has here in it, here and there. If it's ownership, older students might understand this better, like the heir of a throne, it's spelled H-E-I-R, they're gonna own the throne. So there's ownership with H-E-I-R, and then there's a contraction with there, with the apostrophe R-E, which the R is called a linking verb, and we talk about that and we teach it explicitly. And we have a lot of repetition and a lot of wonderful examples. And we make it very engaging and interesting for the students. So we also have mini lessons. The mini lessons, I've got 5 sets of them, and every set has a different number of activities. And these are the grammar rules and phonics rules that students need to understand. I'm going to show you one of my favorites. It's mini lesson 1, and it's activity 1. So I teach the C and the G have a hard and a soft sound. So because students aren't doing the spelling test the first 2 days, they're still reading in the phonics book to a certain point before they can take a spelling test. So I can introduce mini lessons on days 1 and 2. So I teach that the stones are like the E, I, and the Y. Once they shoot the C and once they shoot the G, instead of G, we have J. Instead of K, we have S. So that's a real good association for them, and they understand it. And I even have a slingshot that I take out and I show the students. Here is an activity number 8 to show you the depth of what we cover in the activities. We cover possession, and people get really confused with its. Why doesn't it have an apostrophe S? Because with the apostrophe, it means it is, and it's a contraction. And then we introduce contractions. And then we also talk about singular possessives, plural possessives, and we talk about how an F will change to a V when you have plural. So there are wonderful grammar and phonics rules that we teach in the mini lessons. We try to get through them as quickly as we can progress. So when would you use the mini lessons? Well, the mini lessons will be an alternative to phonics reading, or to workbook 1, or to workbook 2. And the way you know, when you look ahead at what your where the student has read in their phonics, sometimes the students will read the phonics and be very advanced. So when they are at the level of spelling exercises that they can, there might be 5 spelling exercises that they can do at that level of phonics reading. That's when you can start bringing in the mini lessons, and that will substitute for the phonics reading. Also, you can trade it out for workbook 1, or you can trade it out for workbook 2. And I teach you how to organize and manage all that in my training on the 10th. And also, I've provided checklists so you can check off when the student has completed each activity in the mini lessons. So here's another true or false. Effective intervention can make a huge difference in the lives of students. Raise your hand if you believe that that's true. Very good. Okay, let's see. True. Music with the step-by-step multisensory reading program provides students are making 1 to 3 year gains in only 6 weeks. I told the story about my student when I did a summer school program for 6 weeks. There was a parent from another school district who came to the private school where I was doing this, and she was ready to sue her district. Her son was going to enter middle school, 6th grade, and he was reading at a low 3rd grade level. Not only was she worried for her son, she was angry at the school district and was ready to sue them. The ironic thing was she worked for the school district, so it was very awkward. But he was in our program. It was a 6-week program, and he made 3 years gains in reading vocabulary, fluency, and comprehension. So no lawsuit, happy parent, happy student, happy special ed student, because he was progressing with everyone else. And that was only 6 weeks. So step 8 talks about workbook 2 for the seniors. And if you're still working in the workbooks for the junior, you'd return to the junior workbook. So the juniors could do their workbook twice in that session. Or if you're introducing a mini lesson, one of those workbook sessions would go away. Also, what I've learned is one of the phonemic awareness activities is eliminated as well because the mini lessons take a little bit more time to explain. So we would eliminate step 7, which asks the beginning, middle, ending sounds. And again, I give you a lot of practice with this on my training. I put people in the rooms and they can practice with each other after I teach it. And then we have a beautiful training. So the final step is the spelling test, and we use the music app, Dunking Dyslexia. Now this app is available on Android and iOS. It's available for anybody who wants to raise a C to a B or a B to an A if they know how to read, and they just need extra help with spelling and writing. But if they're dyslexic, you need the program because it culminates to step 9, and they're ready to write the words once they've done the sound circles, once they've used the letters, the manipulatives, and once they've read them in the phonics book, and they've done them in the workbook. So now they're ready for their test. They play music in the left ear and spelling exercises in the right ear. This is an example of the first exercise. And it's funny because the students go, 50 words, but they know them and they're so excited. It just builds their self-esteem. And that's something else we want to do with the Orton-Gillingham Model. Now, I don't often do the sentences, just sometimes the students will make such good progress and we're ready to work on the sentences. I've had parents tell me, my daughter or son can write the words, but once they're asked to put it in a sentence, they forget how to sound it out. So I'll let parents, the tutor will chunk these up into doing 10 sentences at a time, look at the first 5, do another 5, do another 5, so you can break it up. Every student works at their own pace. They're not in competition with anybody else. That's why it's beautiful. The training is one-on-one when you work with students with this program. So today's learning outcomes were you would understand the ways to teach phonological awareness, and you're going to learn the Orton-Gillingham Model. So the Orton-Gillingham Model was multisensory, it's structured, it's systematic, it's sequential, it's cumulative, and it is explicit teaching. So would you please raise your hand if I have permission to share about my training program? Okay, thank you. I'm very passionate to help train teachers because we have a big problem in our nation. Teachers are not being trained to work with dyslexic children. That we've heard it again and again, there's not enough budget for professional development. So teachers don't know how to recognize dyslexia, and they don't know what to do if they see that struggling student. So as a result, the students have lowered self-esteem, they act out in bad behavior, they even are dropping out of high school and ending up in prison. So what I offer is an 8-hour training online. It's called Dyslexia Dismantled, and I'm really excited. I'm actually going to offer it twice because some people might be on vacation on July 10th, or they can't make it for one reason or another. So I'm also going to have a Saturday training on July 18th. So it's all day from 9 to 5 Pacific Standard Time, and this training is limited to 10 people per day. So who is this training for? It's for parents, it's for teachers. I'd really like to see paraprofessionals come in, substitute teachers. Someone asked me yesterday, can a speech pathologist come? Yes, they should be trained. There's a lot of value to what they're going to learn in the training. Instructional aides, college students, anyone interested to help students with tutoring. What are you going to learn? You'll learn the Orton-Gillingham Model for teaching dyslexic students. You're going to demonstrate your understanding of the structure and the benefit of being systematic. You'll understand and be able to explain my 9-step program. You'll understand ways to teach phonological awareness. You'll be able to recognize dyslexia in the classroom, and you'll be able to describe dyslexia to others. That's going to come in handy for IEPs. That's your individual education plan if you're a special ed teacher. So the key benefits: you may receive a raise with your company by having this extra training. You may be more marketable. You can even work with multiple students. What you learn in this day is going to help you with thousands of students in your tenure as a teacher. You'll be able to address our reading crisis, and you may possibly keep some kids out of prison. So this is the magic box of training materials. It's 8 pounds, and this is what it includes: 6 books. It has a teacher guide, the mini lessons, Blackline Masters, a junior workbook, and then it has a senior workbook 1 and workbook 2. So the teacher guide has 7 parts. It's got the teacher instructions. Veteran teachers will assimilate this very easily. New teachers will really love the instructions. It's got the phonics reading. It's got the spelling exercises, the resources that support the science of music with phonics. And I provided progress monitoring, which is very helpful for IEPs and setting goals for the phonics reading, the workbook 1 and the workbook 2. Now the mini lessons has 5 parts as well. Each mini lesson gets a little bit more difficult. So second and third graders may not even go into mini lessons 4 and 5. But you'll evaluate, because sometimes the standards are bringing higher level thinking into the teaching, so you can glean through or peruse through mini lessons 4 and 5 and pick out what you might want to teach. But these lessons are awesome. So here's the guarantee. You're guaranteed results by the second week, 10 sessions, and more amazing results in 6 weeks. And that would be 30 sessions. And I will work with you until you are comfortable tutoring. That's my personal guarantee that I will work with you. So what Dyslexia Dismantled includes is the one-day training is $1,997. The curriculum value, step-by-step reading value, is $750. And I provide the teacher guide, which has the instructions, the phonics reading, the spelling exercises, and the 3 progress monitoring. Imagine how much time that's going to save you in writing IEPs. It's going to give you the 5 groups of mini lessons, which includes 45 activities. Now it includes Blackline Masters. There's 44 pages of Blackline Masters. And you might think that's a lot of masters. What it includes is the scaffolds for the students who can't even write a CVC word like cat. I provide the beginning sound. Then on the next test, I provide the ending sound. And then I'll provide the middle sound. That's very helpful for maybe second language learners in the 2nd grade. And I've even used that for 1st graders. The junior workbook has 36 pages with large print. The senior workbook has 96 pages, so the first 36 are the same, and we've added additional phonics pages for workbooks. These workbooks could actually go an entire year, and after 6 weeks, you're going to want more time because there's so much interesting information in these workbooks. Workbook 2 is the grammar rules. Well, it's a grammar workbook, and there's 68 pages in that. And we just change it up. So the phonograms, I have 101 beautiful cards, different colors, and they're all numbered in groups. So I teach you how to introduce the new sets. The key concept pages match the cards, and they're fun pictures and very engaging. And then we have the alphabet that are magnets, and some people use a whiteboard, some people use a cookie sheet to put them on. And then I have some other cool resources like the sound circles are going to be in there. I'm going to give you the index card, spiral index card. So you have a total value of $2,747. Now, some of the universities are charging $40,000 for a 3-year program. You can go to that later, but sign up for this program and let's start working with kids now. I'm also going to include some bonus items. My book, A Message of Hope, How Music Enhances Reading for Dyslexic Children. This book should be in the hands of every parent and every educator of a dyslexic child. In fact, I have a school district I have a Rotary Club that wants to buy it for the school district because history and science teachers have dyslexic students and they need help as well. Other bonus items are my app, the Dunking Dyslexia app. You're going to get 2 months free of the app. So I'm going to total the bonuses for you. $15 for my book, A Message of Hope, How Music Enhances Reading for Dyslexic Students. The Dunking Dyslexia app, 2 months free, would be $20. 2 30-minute coaching sessions with me, valued at $200. I provide Excel spreadsheets. In case you work with multiple students, you'll be able to track progress of multiple students for $100. And then training records, training recordings. I'm going to let you have the recordings of training so you can review. And that is a value of $100. So the bonus items value $435. So let's see what that is together. The Dyslexia Dismantled program is $2,747, which is such a deal compared to other programs, plus the bonus items of $435, for a total value of the program, $3,182. So today, because of COVID, I'm going to give you a discount of $2,185. So today only, your price, if you want to be in this training, this is an investment of $997 for today only. Now I want you to know this is not open to the public. It's not on my website. It's only for this training group because of COVID and because you came to this training. So if you'd like to take advantage of this, I need to say that shipping is not included because shipping is going to be different for UK, for Saudi Arabia, for Canada. I'll let you know what that shipping cost is, and I will send it overnight or 2 days. So the payment options, you can either Venmo me, and here is my Venmo code, or you can pay me with PayPal, and I will give you information how to reach me right here. You can reserve your seat. You can text me now. Try to text me within the next hour. That's going to reserve your seat for the first 10 slots. If you need to get approval from your principal and you feel this is the right program for you, pay the money out of your own pocket and let them reimburse you. But I want to really encourage you, sign up with me today. The price is right, and it's because of COVID. This is something that will let you work with students online, even nationwide, as I'm doing. So you can pick a day, Friday, July 10th, or a Saturday, July 11th. So why don't you take a picture of this with your phone? And please put your questions in the chat box. How many of you think that's a great deal? So it just helps to have a coach. Okay, here's some of the questions. Yes, you may email me. Let me know you're interested. When you email me, give me your phone number and let's talk tomorrow. Any more questions? I want to let you know I'm so proud of you for being on this training. There's a lot of frustration and parents are looking for resources, and I'm the affordable alternative to what the schools have to offer. Okay. So take a picture of this. So you have the dates, and you have my phone number, and you have my email. And I'm going to stop my share. And let me see how I stop my share. Get out of my PowerPoint. And so now I can more easily see your questions. What are the questions about July 10th? It's just around the corner next Friday. When I train you in one day, you're going to be working with students the next week. Okay, so I want to thank you all for being here today. Although I do have a question. What is the earliest a child is diagnosed with dyslexia? I have my webinar from day one, and I talk about having children rhyme at ages 3 and 4. That could be a red flag if children aren't rhyming. In California, our Governor Newsom has set aside several $1 billion or $1 million to assess early detection for dyslexia as we assess for vision and hearing. So in California, we're going to make it a priority. But if children aren't rhyming by age 3 and 4, that's a red flag. Often a parent will have another student, another child that knows how to read, and they can see the difference. Anyway, send me your questions, and please email me your questions. I'm going to end now so you can think about whether this is the right time for your investment of your continued education. And I want to thank you all for being here tonight. I wish you a very nice evening or a day if you're in another part of the world. Thank you for being here, and I look forward to hearing from you. God bless you.